What up, everybody? We got a special Envoy release video for today. We're going to be looking at the new Deathseed team. That's right, the new Horseman team, helmed by Archangel himself. Not the community manager, no, somebody much more useful. Just kidding, buddy. But yeah, the raid team. They're going to be crazy raid team. So let's go look at Dark Beast and the two reworks. So starting with Dark Beast. Traits: Villain, Global, Mutant Controller, Deathseed. Pretty standard. His basic, which is called Lethal Substance, is going to attack the primary target and adjacent targets for 220% damage and apply 2 bleeds. When this character performs a counterattack or assist, it's going to apply bleeds, offense down, and heal block. That's pretty big. I'm looking for there to be an assist mechanic with this team similar to the Astonishing X-Men, given this wording. Now the special, it's 4 out of 6. In raids, he's going to summon a clone of the primary target. The clone scales with Dark Beast stats instead of the primary target. The thing about it is, this is a new team. It's going to be the raid team. We're expected to be able to use this team on 3.5. I have to assume that. Dark Beast stats are going to have to be insane for this clone to matter at all. At all. Especially if it's going to be gaining taunt for 1 turn and surviving at 3.5. His stats are going to have to be nuts. Especially his health and armor stat. That's what I'm looking for when the patch goes live. Trying to see where that's coming in. So again, his clone is going to gain taunt for 1 turn, defense up for 2 turns. He's going to apply defense up for 2 turns to himself and all Deathseed allies. Going to call 2 random allies with the highest damage to attack the primary target. And if that's not enough, this ability will also revive a dead Deathseed ally with 50% max health, which is pretty big on a revive. And in raids, it'll apply 2 regeneration for 2 turns to self and all Deathseed allies. The way this is worded, the revive will happen before the regenerations, so that'll help bring that dead, now alive character up even more. Let's go look at the ultimate and the passive. So the ultimate, you can do this at the very beginning. It starts at 4 out of 4. In raids, it's going to flip 3 positive effects into negative effects on the primary and adjacent targets. It's going to apply ability block for 2 turns only to the primary, and it's going to attack primary and adjacent targets for 300% damage, applying bleed for 2 turns. It'll also apply 2 counters to all Deathseed allies. The passive, this is pretty interesting because it looks like everything in this character's passive gets negated by the ability block, unless I'm reading this incorrectly. So the following effects are negated if the character has ability block. While this character or any Deathseed ally has defense up, they gain armor 50%. In raids, while this character or any Deathseed ally has offense up, they gain 50% damage. In raids, while this character or any Deathseed ally has speed up, they gain 50% speed. Basically what this says is that their defense up, their offense up, and their speed is twice as effective as it is for other characters. Gains a 25% chance to assist on attack abilities per Deathseed ally. There's that assist chance we were talking about, the one we're looking for. So he's kind of substituting that Jubilee Mallrat in there. On turn, he will flip 1 positive effect into a negative effect on non-summoned enemy with the highest speed. And in raids, it'll flip 3 positive effects instead, and 50% chance to apply blind to that enemy. So very, very strong. Not a huge fan of the randomness to it, of the highest speed. We're going to see how that plays in when we're doing the raids. You know, I think about that mutant boss node. I'd really like to get a blind on that Morgan or that Icarus. Is it going to line up that they're the fastest speed, or do we really have to finesse those nodes to have that line up? But that's going to be Dark Beast, so pretty exciting. We got the clone, we got a bunch of flips, we got an assist mechanic, bleeds. I like it. Also, doubling up every defense up, offense up, and speed. That's kind of crazy. So let's see what Magneto and then Psylocke are going to bring to the table as well. So starting with Magneto, his stats increase pretty good, you know, 50% health, 30% damage, focus, resistance. A lot of their extra stats are going to come from the passives of all these characters, obviously. And then we have what we just saw with that Dark Beast passive. But so the changes, his basic, this damage part was always the case. The new part is the in raids. If this character has 3 or more Deathseed allies, it's going to prolong all negative effects by 1 on each target. Kind of crazy, right? Because it's a chain attack. So it's like Adam Warlock's basic, but it chains the 2 additional targets. Very, very strong basic coming from Magneto. We'll see if that applies to his ISO attack. Then his special, again, the first part, that's what it's always been. It's the in raids part. It'll apply ability block for 2 turns to the primary target. It's unavoidable. It was already unavoidable. Very interesting. We're going to see how these 2-turn ability blocks work. I'm guessing that, Morgan Le Fay in that final wave of the Doom mutant section is going to be the target of that. We'll see if we can get that to land. His ultimate was unchanged. His ultimate is the exact same as it used to be, but his passive basically got a complete overhaul. And when I say overhaul, I mean they just slapped in Deathseed everywhere. So, on spawn now, he will get that speed bar from Brotherhood and Deathseed allies. On crit, he'll give the speed up to Deathseed allies. He gives 10,000% resistance to taunt to Deathseed allies, resistance to Deathseed allies, folks, blah, blah, blah. You get it. You get what I'm saying. Everything he did to Brotherhood, he's now doing to Deathseed. This new part is the in raids part. On spawn, if he has 4 or more Deathseed allies, that's a silly statement. That means if he has the full Deathseed team, he's going to generate 5 ability energy for himself. He's going to fill the speed bar by an additional 15% for self, and he's going to fill speed bar by 15% for all Deathspeed allies. I think about that first node with the Zemo, the Surfer, the Cersei, the Madeline, the Emma. It's a crazy node. You're going to need to outspeed it. This doesn't seem like enough speed on its own to get the job done. Currently, I do use a burner team with the Brotherhood to pull things, but then they instantly die. Because it's basically Toad takes a turn, Magneto takes a turn, everybody on your team dies. So look for Archangel to really increase everybody's speed to make sure you're wiping a wave as difficult as that first wave is on the mutant boss. Look for Archangel or whoever the next character that's going to be with the Deathseed team to really solidify their opening attack. Because right now the blinds, it's great, just doesn't seem like enough. Now let's move over to Psylocke. So Psylocke's stat increase, 40% health pretty much, 24% damage, 120% armor, 18% focus, 43% resist. She definitely needed these stat boosts, so it's nice to see. So her basic, the only change here is that it's now going to apply defense down for 2 turns. I love that. I'm assuming we're going to get a lot of strikers here, probably with Beast as the skirmisher, him doing the assists, but we'll see how it goes. But I think it's going to be that kind of a triple tap situation. So her special, new, she still does the damage. It applies bleeds for 2 turns. It chains to 5 adjacent targets, which is crazy, lots of bleeds. It's going to clear 3 positive effects from each target. Counterattacks break this chain. But in raids, it'll clear immunity before clearing the other positive effects, and this attack gains 5,000% extra focus. I think about the immunity in the mutant section currently, and the only thing I can think of is the anti-venom special on that second node, so maybe it's going to be needed for that. Heading into the second wave, we'll see how that goes. I'm trying to compare this team with the current mutant raid. Next, her ultimate. This is new. It used to be 6 out of 6 energy. It's now 4 out of 4, so it's easier to get to. Transfers 2 negative effects from each ally to the primary target. Transfers all negative effects from X-Men and Deathseed, right? So it was already doing that for like the Uncanny team. Now it's going to do it for Deathseed as well. Attacks the primary target for 350% piercing damage and reduces speed bar by 25%. Cannot be missed. Anything that reduces speed bar always catches my eye. That's going to be very important. Then the passive, on spawn, she's going to gain evade, counter, deflect, and Deathseed allies are also going to gain evade, counter, and deflect. And when this character or any Uncanny X-Men or Deathseed ally drops below 50% health, apply evade and counter to them, and she's also 1,000% extra resistance against disrupt. So, does this team, these 3 pieces with Archangel right now, scream to me that they're going to handle the mutant section? No. There's still some missing components. I need to see some big damage coming from somebody. I need to see better control, some stuns, some AoE slow and AoE defense down. There's just a bunch missing when I think about the current needs of the mutant team. But I'm excited. I'm excited to finally have an answer because right now I'm using full X-Men. Some days I can blow through it. Some days I get absolutely crushed by resists. This team will hopefully have the focus that you won't be worrying about resists. But that's all we know for Deathseed right now. So, we got more stuff coming soon. We got the Wakandans with their rework to Shuri, Okoye, and Black Panther, as well as the new Black Panther and the Nakia as well. Very excited to talk about them and talk about the Death Scourge. Are we going to be bringing in Killmonger? Are we going to be bringing in M'Baku? We'll see. That's to be determined. And also we do have some more reworks as well in the form of Hela and Zombie Iron Man, the War Offense duo. I'm very excited to talk about these teams, but I didn't want this video to run too long, so that's going to be for another time. Until then, take care, and I'll see you later.